Texas is breaking records with the current heat wave, and this dangerous heat will continue into next week. These temperatures have put some Texans into conserving water and being more aware of their usage. But what are we seeing here locally? Today we are joined by Jennifer Nations with the City of College Station. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
We wanted to start off, so far this summer, what has our water consumption looked like? Are we seeing a higher usage, or how does it compare?
So just in the past week, last week our average daily water demand was about 13 million gallons per day, and then this week it's jumped up to about 17 million gallons per day. And of course, what happened recently? Triple-digit temperatures.
Of course. And what does the city expect to see as this summer continues to creep on?
Well, we're I would expect that we're going to expect to see water demand continue to increase, but we don't want it to get where it got to last year. This time last year, we were already pumping, I think, 22 million gallons per day, or maybe 20 million gallons per day. So we're a little bit behind where we were last year, but we're getting pretty close. There was a period of time last year where we pumped 1 million gallons of water every hour of every day for about 6 weeks straight. And I really don't want that to happen again.
Right, and it all comes down to making sure that we're being smart with our water usage. Do we have advice for our viewers and for the people living in our area as we continue into these hot months?
Yes, sure do. So July starts Smart Irrigation Month, July 1st, but we can go ahead and get started right now. So the Smart Irrigator does not water between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. The Smart Irrigator looks to water maybe 2 days per week. The Smart Irrigator does something called cycle and soak with irrigation programming, where you're not watering the front yard, say, for 30 minutes, because our heavy clay soils, that's all going to run off, right? And then, if it runs off, it's wasted. It did not help your landscape at all. So you would break that up into maybe 4 start times. Have your irrigation controller come on at like 2 a.m., 4 a.m., 6 a.m., something like that.
Why is it so important that we have these conversations about our water usage and how to conserve?
So it's important because we are all relying on groundwater around here. Bryan, College Station, Texas A&M, we all have the same source of water, the Carrizo-Wilcox Aquifer, as our drinking water source. And so, it's a bunch of straws in the same soda. That's the only source of water that we have. It's probably going to be the only source of water that we will have going into the future. I mean, even if we did something like reusing treated wastewater effluent for irrigation, it still starts with groundwater. If we did something like aquifer storage and recovery, it's still starting with groundwater. So that's, every gallon that we don't use is a gallon that is kept in the ground for later use.
I know that we're going to continue to have these conversations as the summer goes on, as we continue to see hot temperatures. But speaking of, when we look at the forecast, there's a whole bunch of triple digits coming up. What do we need to keep in mind in the coming days?
What we need to keep in mind in the coming days is that just because we have triple digit temperatures, that does not mean that you need to water every single day. You can still get adequate water on your landscape without watering every single day, without watering in the middle of the day. Go ahead and set your controller for 2 days per week, maybe like 1 weekday and 1 weekend day. I've been telling people, I think Wednesday and Saturday for odd numbered addresses and Thursday and Sunday for even numbered addresses. I could have that mixed up, but that's not mandatory right now. If we were to go into some sort of drought stage, what would happen is the watering days would become mandatory. Like, you can only water on this day or that day. So what I always tell people is go ahead and implement that right now. Go ahead and program your controller so it's only watering 2 days per week. Make sure it's not watering between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Audit your system. Make sure that it's that you're not running it with leaks. Make sure that you don't have a rotor that's pointed directly into the street or something. And look at your water bill. If you're in College Station, we have graduated water rates. Actually, all of the water utilities do, but ours top out at over 26,000 gallons. You start getting charged $6 per thousand, which is a lot of money. But most landscapes, most homes in College Station do not need. You can water all summer and stay below that 26,000 gallons. So, yeah.
And it's definitely some things that we're going to keep our eyes on in the coming days. But Jennifer, thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome. Thanks very much for having me.